The Galaxy Z Flip 8. This is honestly the same device pretty much as last year, but that's actually a good thing. This is our review of the Galaxy Z Flip 8. Welcome back to SamMobile TV. You're here with Daniel. The Galaxy Z Flip 8. If you are using a Galaxy Z Flip 7, there's absolutely zero reason to upgrade. Literally zero. Just stick with the phone you've got. You're going to get a very similar, if not the same experience. However, that doesn't make this bad. It just makes the Flip 7 very, very good. This phone and the upgrades here is for every other Flip user that exists in the world right now, and even some slab phone users too. Let's take a look at why. First, you've got the design. This thing is a compact powerhouse. Samsung have made it 180 grams this year with the Flip 8, and they've slimmed it down to just 6.1 millimeters when it's fully unfolded. That's a hair fraction thicker than the S25 Edge from last year, which everyone praised for how thin that was. And then you factor in the fact that this folds in half. Pretty impressive. That form, especially when closed, makes it very, very compact to use, compact to hold, and then compact to put away into your pocket. It's actually a really stunning phone to look at. The design, the aesthetics, the colors, they all kind of blend together to create a really cute but really striking aesthetic. The thing that's the most striking with the design though is the size and the brightness of the cover screen. Samsung have turned the cover screen from just a mere notification service to an actual practical, convenient to use smartphone experience. It almost feels like a complete UI now. It's not quite the same as what the inside phone is, and I think that's fine. Samsung have kind of created a bespoke UI for the cover screen, and that's kind of great because it means you do get still a great experience, but it's a different one. So you kind of feel like you're using two different phones almost. But in that same breath, Samsung have uniformed it to be a little bit more similar to the inside. You have a fully functional app drawer now, where you can swipe up, browse apps on that cover screen, launch apps from there, and then get a full mobile experience without even having to open the phone. You've also got a proper quick panel now, where you can actually drag from the top and you can swipe between a quick panel and notifications rather than the old way of having everything kind of separate. Great if you quickly need to extend the brightness, or if you need to check your notifications, you can do it all from the cover. And you've got a more expansive widget selection. So if you wanted to add widgets to your cover screen and then browse them, again, you've got shortcuts into apps too, where you don't necessarily need to open the phone, and you probably won't ever want to because of the fact it does so much and the screen is big enough. You've got a really nice compact one-handed experience that you can live on for the majority of your time. That cover screen also includes a camera experience, one that is largely unchanged from last year, but still gives you a lot. This is an advantage of the Flip, where you can actually use rear cam selfie to capture rear cam video. This is rear cam selfie right now. The way I'm doing it right now, it's limited to full HD because of the fact that I'm using it in portrait orientation, holding it that way, and then it's using the landscape orientation of the portrait orientation. That makes sense. But the whole idea is the fact that you can capture things in this cube little shape, this compact little shape, and you don't need to have some big sort of setup for it. If you do want a higher resolution, you can put it into landscape, and then you get access to the 4K one, and then the quality obviously improves drastically, and you get a much better field of view, all that sort of stuff. But the flexibility of the Flip isn't so much about the output, it's all about this way, how you can capture things without needing much equipment. You get access to better quality cameras with the Flip closed. That's kind of been the advantage of the Flip the entire time. With the bigger cover screen now, you kind of don't need to always rely on opening up the phone to capture things. You can do it straight from the cover screen and you get a nice big experience out of it. So that experience of being able to capture from the cover screen, whether it be recording the video that you just saw, whether it be capturing photos and selfies with ease, you've just got that big preview experience. And Samsung have expanded on that with Camera Assistant, where you can actually use the cover screen and the cameras almost like a compact mirror. And it even provides you a little ring light as a software quirk. The overall camera experience is fine. It's a little bit disappointing Samsung didn't upgrade the ultra-wide camera at least. You've still got the 50 megapixel main camera and a 12 megapixel ultra-wide. That 12 megapixel ultra-wide didn't even get macro capabilities at the very least, which is a little bit disappointing because the Fold 8 has got it, the Fold 8 Ultra has got it. It's just a bit of a shame that the Flip 8 doesn't quite get it. Being 12 megapixels still too, it also misses out on the 24 megapixel resolution option that you can find in Camera Assistant. The main camera gets it, ultra-wide camera does not. This is the thing. The Flip form factor has never been about pure output. It's all about the versatility. The ability to have it be flexed halfway on a table and have the camera pointing at you for selfies, or flip it around and you get the much better rear cameras with the cover screen as a preview. It's a hands-free, tripod-less experience that acts and functions like a tripod. It's pretty great. Then you got Flex Cam, which allows you to pop it into almost like a camcorder state, which has added features now like horizontal lock. You've got a bit of a good package there that gives you more than just pure output. But doesn't mean the output is bad. Like, it's going to be functional and practical and will capture good enough footage of both videos and photos for you to have on your phone. Take a look. When it comes to performance, there's kind of two ways you can look at this. You can be impressed that Samsung have kept a 4,300 milliamp hour capacity battery whilst also slimming the phone down and making it lighter versus the Flip 7 from last year. Or you can choose to be disappointed that those numbers have stayed the same, that you've still got the same size battery from last year and also the same size charging, same speed of charging. That makes more sense. I don't think you'll have an issue with battery life. So really, the biggest disappointment that you might have about capacity, you could probably dismiss that. The disappointment you should have, though, is the charging speed. Because it doesn't go over that 4,500 milliamp hour threshold, Samsung keep it at 25 watts. And you actually really do notice it, especially now in 2026. I actually ran a bit of a test where I let it run flat and let it sit there flat for a couple of days. And then I put it on charge from completely flat. What was interesting was the fact that it took about 10 minutes from plugging it in to actually starting charging properly. It just had the little lightning bolt for 10 minutes before it actually registered a percent. And then in the first 30 minutes of charging after that, in that 30 minutes, it got to just under or just about 50%, not quite, which again, you feel that pace, you feel that lack of speed. And normally with something like the S26 Ultra or the Fold 8 series now, you'd be above that. And it's a little bit disappointing that the Flip 8 hasn't got that. But as far as the rest of the performance goes, it's a flagship phone from 2026. You're not going to have any performance issues that you might see from a mid-range or a low-range phone. It's just not going to happen. Whether it be popping things into flex mode to watch your content and consume your media, or more intensive stuff like gaming on your smartphone on the inside display, you're really not going to be bothered by the performance. And that won't matter whether you've got the Exynos 2600 or the Snapdragon variant. Both of those devices will perform exactly the way you need them to. But the Flip just gives you something else. It's not about the performance necessarily. It's about the things you can do with it. Like being able to browse the cover screen for YouTube in a compact way, select a video, and then be able to unfold it and then pop it into flex mode to consume media. Like no other phone is going to give you that compact experience like that, not even the Folds. But the interesting thing about the Flip 8 is just that it feels finished. Like it feels like we've reached the summit of what a flip phone can achieve. Obviously, there's other things that can be done, like Samsung can add a third camera, the battery can be increased in capacity, the charging speed can get better, but none of that changes the form of the Flip and the function of the Flip. It's still going to be the form and function that it is, because there's not much you can do differently. Unless Samsung is cooking up something like a tri-flip where it unfolds this way and then also unfolds this way, but I really don't see anyone asking for that really stretched out, elongated form anytime soon. So really, to break it down, the Flip 8, the advantage of it is a software one, and it's to do all with the cover screen. But it kind of goes with the design as well. Being lighter and thinner means that when it is closed, it is more compact. It is easier to hold for longer periods of time. And with the software, you can do more from that cover screen, so you can hold it for longer periods of time if you want to. That's what drives the upgrades of this Flip 8, and that's what I think will drive you if you decide to get it, and then when you decide to use it. It's still, hands down, the best compact form factor and best small smartphone experience you can get. Nothing will beat it. So that's our kind of usage review of the Flip 8. Hopefully you enjoyed the concept of it and you like what you saw there. If you did, chuck us a subscribe down below. Also come find us on our website, SamMobile.com, and also on all of our socials. We're everywhere you can find us. And we'll see you guys next time. Thanks.